is very important, even if you plan on using shared hosting, which is popular and often more economically feasible for small websites. As you probably know, there are many options out there for shared hosting. With Magento, I highly recommend you find a host that has packages specifically designed for the platform. This is even more important than it is for content-based platforms like WordPress and Drupal, where it often doesn't matter if you have, say, Drupal-focused hosting if your site isn't particularly large. With Magento, it is important to find a host with a deep understanding of Magento specifically, even if you're running a small site. We will be using Nexus for this tutorial. Nexus provides a number of packages specifically designed for Magento users. There are a few reasons I make this recommendation to use a host specifically focused on Magento. First, it's always important to have top-notch security on e-commerce platforms. So since that's what Magento is, you'll want a host whose servers are configured specifically for this type of site, with all relevant security measures in place server-side. And if there's ever a critical security vulnerability discovered, in some cases the hosts themselves can configure their servers to mitigate the damage a hacker might cause, so you're often safe even if you're unable to make your own changes or run your own updates right away. Second, similar to the security concerns, you'll want a host that keeps adequate backups of the sites and its servers in case some catastrophe happens or there's an actual security breach, although I should note that you should always keep backups of your own as well. Many generic hosts do keep backups for their clients, but these are not always entirely reliable. Again, when you're running an e-commerce site, it's extremely important that no data is lost ever. So with a Magento-focused host, you'll be better protected in the case of data loss. Nexus, for instance, keeps backups on external servers, and in your control panel, if you go to the File Manager, here at iWorks Backup, you have direct access to daily local backups. Finally, Magento is a particularly complex platform. Aside from troubleshooting issues on your site, even when installing, you may come across some problems that are difficult to figure out and that are often related to server configuration rather than an actual mistake made during installation. In Nexus's case, you get 24-hour technical support through email or phone from people who are familiar with Magento specifically, and you also get a fresh Magento installation upon signing up for a hosting package, so you don't have to worry about going through installation yourself. Don't worry though, we will cover the manual installation process for those of you using a host that doesn't offer that feature. While we're on the topic, I want to point out a few other benefits of Nexus's hosting specifically. Your server will be optimized for whatever service you sign up for with Nexus. Here you can see some of the hardware specs. These are specifically tailored for Magento users. Nexus also has cron settings automatically configured and optimized for Magento sites when you sign up for a Magento package. Cron configuration is extremely important on Magento sites, and it can be difficult to set up on your own, especially if you're not well versed in manually configuring cron, or maybe you don't even know what cron is. With Nexus shared hosting for Magento, with the most basic package, your site is also housed on a server with only 29 other accounts, a total of 30, which is far less than regular shared hosting, and this will help with your site's performance and security. Finally, Nexus houses well over 40,000 Magento-based clients, so they do have a lot of experience with Magento and Magento users. Once again, whatever host you do end up using, I just want to stress that if you're running a Magento site, no matter how large or small, and regardless of whether you're using the open source Magento Community Edition or the paid Magento Enterprise Edition, it's really recommended to use a host that knows Magento well and that offers hosting packages designed for Magento users.